Welcome to the DIY Writer Show with the mild-mannered, slightly heroic host, Jeff Bacon.
Hey kids, this is Jeff Bacon with the DIY Writer Podcast. And today we have PD Avella. And guess what? He does dystopian science fiction. He does some horror. And it's going to be kind of a creepy little episode, I have a feeling. So let's get right into it. Sir, do you want me to call you PD or what do you want me to call you, Paul?
PD or Paul. It's up to you.
PD or Paul? Okay.
PD or Paul.
That's PD, not PT.
That's right. That's right.
Just kidding. All right. So you have this book that came out October 7th of this year in the dreaded 2020. The Rose, Volume 1. What can you tell us about it?
All right. So Rose Volume 1 it's a dystopian science fiction action thriller. So it takes place immediately after World War III, in which case human beings or Americans have been put into safety camps. They went there during the war. What happens as soon as the treaty is signed and World War III is over, everybody goes against them, their own people, their own soldiers, and they find out this huge discovery that there's alien vampires living in Middle Earth that have conspired with elite humans to turn the human population into zombies.
Oh,
yeah.
That's quite the plot there.
Thank you.
You kind of dabbled in everything. Continue, sir.
I did. So we got a little bit of fantasy in there. You have action adventure, right? So they use a kind of like the Matrix meets Star Wars type of thing. So they use these martial arts weapons called the blades, which is a form of martial arts called Kabuto Tonfa. All right. So think of a police baton. Right, best way to describe it. So you got the handle, right, in the hand, boom, and it goes down across the forearm, right?
Sure.
Right, but it's wood. But what they're doing, it's made of alien steel. So when they're battling each other. They're using this alien steel, and there's a lot of gore and a lot of fights. All right, so we have multiple species of aliens going on. What happens is one of the safety camp survivors gets taken underground, where they're doing genetic experimentation on human beings. All right, and enter in. The mysterious rebellion freedom fighter, whose name is Phil, is going there to rescue her. So most of I'd say 90% of the book takes place in an underground complex that they're trying to escape from. Not only are there alien vampires, there's telekinetic skull-splitting gray aliens, pretty evil stuff. And there's a few other alien species in there as well.
So that is interesting. Alien vampires. How'd you come up with that? Just... they're normal vampires, they're aliens. So, I mean, is there a particular world they come from?
Well, they come from Draculon. All right. That is the world they come from. But they're also a genetic hybrid between draconian reptilian aliens, all right, and cobra snakes. So they were created by the reptilian draconian aliens to actually live on Earth. All right. So brought over from Draculon, given the cobra gene or whatever, and a whole new species was created.
Wow. Like I said, you have a sprinkling of everything in there.
I do. And the original idea for alien vampires came from Buck Rogers, a show called Buck Rogers, right? Too funny, right? So
Gil Gerard.
Yes, that's right. And I heard they're redoing the series now, Yes, classic. And one of the episodes had an alien vampire on it. And I was probably 3 at the time, scared the hell out of me, stayed with me my entire life. So when I started piecing this together, I was like, I'm using this alien vampire. Kind of different than what they were doing. I actually recently watched that episode like a couple of years ago. And there was nothing to be afraid of, naturally. Think of 1970s B-rated, makeup and artistry going on, But for a 3-year-old, it was quite scary. But it stayed with me, and I'm glad it did.
That's really a blast from the past. I watched that several times.
It was like late 70s, early 80s. I think it ran for 3 or 4 seasons, something like that. Maybe.
Tell you, I don't know.
Yeah,
but I've watched it. Oh, I bet you I've watched it in the last 15 years. I'd like to say 10, but probably 15. And when they're out in space and they're in those small fighters,
Yeah.
And they've got the the star field in the back just running across. It looks like it's
That's
on
right.
belt. And
That's right. That's right. Things they had to do back then, right? No computer graphics.
When I was a kid, I thought, oh my God, this is the best.
This is state of the art. It's great.
Yeah, this is, you only get better in the movies. I mean, come on, this is,
That's right.
And I had some of the figures and all that kind of crap, and but
yes,
yeah,
that I do. So good old Buck Rogers, right?
Yeah.
And then what's funny is I had my kids. I have 4 kids. I had them like watch an episode. They're like, "We're not watching this. This is this isn't even B rated. It's like D rated at this point."
Well, when I was growing up, the big battle was between Buck Rogers and Battlestar Galactica.
Yes, that's right.
God, I'm trying to think the guys that, they're all just horrible.
Yes.
When you look at them now.
Yes, I know. It's like cardboard or something.
Mm-hmm. But it was cool back then. But that was the big fight, is which was better.
Yes.
And then of course Knight Rider came into play, and it's like, oh no, that's really good. Yeah, but
yeah, the old Kit.
Yeah,
right. The old Kit.
Boy, I tell you what, you're aging me already.
We're aging each other, right?
I guess so.
Yeah. Should put this into a novel. Oh wait, Ready Player did that already. So looks like we're out.
Well, what's funny is there's a lot of kids will be listening to this program going, what the hell are these 2 old farts talking about? It's great TV. You should watch it. Yeah,
that's right. You should it's good to recognize, appreciate the artistry of the time,
It is. It is. Even though the graphics and all that kind of stuff is not good, the screenwriting wasn't, any worse or any better than it is now.
That's right.
But I don't know.
The concepts were there. You're right. The screenwriting was there. I mean, Buck Rogers is based. I think he was Pulp Fiction magazine. Buck Rogers. I think it was a story in there, or a comic book.
It was a comic book. I remember that because before. I don't know why, but I had a ton of comic books when I was growing up. Most of them being Marvel. I was never a Batman fan. I actually thought he was before I actually knew who he was, I thought it was just weird. Why would you want to be a bat as a superhero? Come on.
Gotcha.
And I didn't really like Superman, so I wasn't like a DC guy. Really, I was more of a Marvel guy. I was more of a Ghost Rider and, X-Men and whatever else came out. Spider-Man. Oh, Spider-Man was my guy.
Gotcha. Spider-Man was the guy, right?
Yeah,
so
really was, yeah.
I did like Batman. I was a Batman fan for a long time. And other than that, the Punisher. But I love Batman.
Yeah.
Especially the graphic novels. Arkham Asylum was like one of the best ever. Love Arkham Asylum.
I only read comic books growing up, and Stephen King. I didn't read any of the Batman novels or anything like that.
Gotcha.
Never read them.
Arkham Asylum is worth reading.
Is it?
That's a fact. Yeah, it's a good one. It's when he goes into Arkham Asylum, insane asylum. So that's where the Joker is. All his villains are in Arkham Asylum, and they took over, and he's got to go in there and get them and mess with them. It's a good one. Definitely a good one.
And I tell you, I really didn't like Batman until I saw the movie.
Which one?
With Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
And and that, I mean, I was in high school at the time, I think. I was in college. I think I was in high school, actually, early high school. I don't know. You don't remember, but I went to it, and that wasn't bad, and Jack
Nicholson.
Yeah. I don't know how I could forget that, but he was like, just insanely evil. And that, I was like, oh, cool. Because you didn't really see, I mean, if you saw the 1960s, Batman,
Cesar Romero.
Yeah, those those weren't quite the same. But when I saw that, that's when it's like, oh, Batman is kind of cool, and then the Heath Ledger's Joker just that's like every villain has to be like him. Everybody has to be like him.
Fact. Fact.
But-
You nailed it. You hit it out of the park. So,
Yeah.
but the writing too, Christopher Nolan writing that script, you got to be a Batman fan, because what he's doing is he's taking those iconic classic Joker parts and putting it into the movie. So if you're not a Batman fan, you're not giving it that attention to detail.
Yeah.
He did, man. He got it, So very satisfied with that movie.
I was very satisfied with it too. The only thing that, that basically drug Heath Ledger down to a spot to where, he didn't come back,
Correct.
from whatever, whatever depths he had to drag himself to play that. But it was absolutely, I will never forget that.
Yeah.
That character that he played. And then everybody else has tried to imitate it. Yeah. Not even close.
You're not getting close. Joaquin Phoenix did really good, but he still wasn't at that level.
See, I haven't brought myself to watch that yet. I've
Gotcha.
got like 50% of my friends say it's worth it, and 50% are like, oh, don't even waste your time. Oh God, it's so boring. It's so drug on.
It is. It's a slow burn. Yeah. That's a definite fact. But
yeah.
I think it's worth it. I think it's definitely worth a try. Put it that way.
Yeah. Ever since Joaquin killed Maximus, I've never been a big fan of his.
It's too funny. That he did.
I never wanted to see anybody die more than him. Well, maybe.
Gotcha.
Not in a Roman film.
I know Maximus was the man too.
He was.
The only reason he won is because he stabbed him in the beginning before they went out there.
Yeah, otherwise he was dead meat.
Yeah, big time. Too funny. Little pissant. This is what you do.
Yeah, not only that, but doing his sister, that's not good. That's not cool.
Nah, that's not healthy.
Yeah, she's cute though, but don't do that.
That's right. It's not good for anyone.
No. No, you
not.
want lots of branches on that family tree. You don't want it to go straight up.
Fact. That's right. That's right.
So what else have you written? You've written quite a few books, actually.
Yeah, The Rose is my 6th book. So let's start at the beginning. Indifference. It's more of a literary psychological thriller, all right, about a misdiagnosed paranoid schizophrenic who discovers he has the powers to heal.
Oh, how'd you come up with that idea?
I was working at a psych ward.
Yeah.
And we were, me and my fellow crazies, I guess you could say. So we were all sitting around talking that if Jesus came back to Earth, he would probably be Baker acted.
Okay.
So that was the premise. That's where it spawned the idea, and I wrote this novel.
Huh. That's interesting.
Crazy. And then
it is.
Let's see, a Billion Tiny Moments in Time was published a few years ago, but I wrote it. When was it? 2007 is when I wrote that book. That's call it my Hallmark card. So it's metaphysical, but it's a family saga. Traces a prominent New York family over 4 generations, and metaphysical and death. And really it's about immortality, like giving a piece of yourself to the next generation or someone else. So that is A Billion Tiny Moments in Time. And then I have a nonfiction book, because I'm a therapist and hypnotist, that I wrote with a few other philosophers and therapists as well. And that's called Let Your Soul Evolve. And that's like philosophical self-help. Okay. Which I really wrote it was part of the protocol in the treatment center that I owned at the time. Now that's Let Your Soul Evolve. And then Twisted Tales of Deceit, that is dark fiction, dark fantasy, has a collection of 3 short stories, or 2 short stories, 1 novella. And the novella, his name is Knickerbocker, which is a reimagining of the legend of Sleepy Hollow. It's called Knickerbocker because Washington Irving coined the phrase. Mm-hmm. But it's modern day times, right? So all the characters in there, like your Ichabod Crane and stuff like that, they are all recovering addicts employed at the prestigious Sleepy Hollow private school. Shit definitely takes place there.
Yeah.
Oh.
There was a show a few years ago that had oh God, what was it? It had Ichabod Crane in it, and it was, all about, the Headless Horseman, and then all of the things that happened in the revolution. Do you remember what that?
I think Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Sleepy Hollow?
Something like that.
And then the Headless Horseman is like one of the 4 horsemen or something like that.
Yeah.
Something, right? I didn't watch it.
I
heard about it.
I was intrigued by it just because Um, I thought it was a cool idea. Just the premise of it. The acting was
Yeah.
and the storyline, kind of what they do with really good ideas in Hollywood all the time. They
Yes.
kill it,
That they
and
do.
then all of a sudden it becomes oh, it's season 3 and it's the same shit because it happened to work in season 2 and 1, but
Yeah.
and
Switch it up, people.
yeah.
Don't do the same thing day in and day out. People get bored of it.
Well,
And it's just regurgitated crap.
the one I'm a Lucifer fan.
Gotcha.
I don't know if you
All
watched
right.
that.
I haven't.
And I think I really like the fresh take that they take on well, basically the Bible and everything else with that series. I think they've done a really good job of making that they have strong characters.
Gotcha.
And that really holds it together. In the storyline, I mean, you could make that storyline just about anything, but I was actually just watching that again here just because I wanted to get a couple of research points for something I'm working on. But like they're making fun of the apostles. Oh my God, Paul would never fit in those chains. And somebody's selling artifacts.
It's too funny.
He's like, oh man, he never passed up a biscuit. That guy, he was too fat. He would have never fit in those chains. Those aren't his. And they go, oh yeah, that's Jesus's cross. Yeah, he wasn't killed on a cross. So they take all these things because these guys know what happened because they're angels. Lucifer and Amenadiel.
Yep.
And it's just like, God, that's hilarious.
It's tearing us apart. I like it. Lucifer, I'm not a big television show guy. A couple shows, but not a lot. More movies for me.
Yeah.
Television shows, I do like The Boys, and I do like season 2. They did great for season 2.
You like The Boys, huh?
I do. I enjoyed it. I wasn't. I understand it was a comic book before, so I never read the comic book. I knew nothing about it, and I saw it, and I said, "Let me give it a try." I watched the first episode, and the fact that the superheroes are more like the villains, I thought that was great.
I did like that too. The only. Season 2, I'm just like, all right, let's see what season 3 brings. But I'm kind of worn out on. But I did binge that real quick. Just
gotcha.
It was interesting. But I do like the plot twists that I'm not going to mention. But you know what I'm talking about and how they're.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't want to ruin it for anybody, but
that's right.
They do a nice job with the plot twists in that. But the way it ended, I didn't think it was all that great.
I know. Well, that last episode, I kept thinking that there's got to be at least another 2 episodes, and then I'm like, wait a minute, this is it? That's how it ends.
Yeah.
So that was disappointing. Give me another episode. That's all.
Yeah.
Boom. And then Ozark. That's my favorite show.
I watched, I think, 2 seasons of Ozark, and then I drifted out of it.
Gotcha. Wow. All right. Well, last season is coming up, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
See what happens.
I think I just got busy. I just stopped watching it for some reason. But
gotcha.
The first 2 seasons were good. But
definitely, and season 3 was good too.
Oh, you know what happened? I discovered Letterkenny.
Understood.
Yeah. Right. And I think I binged that, and then I started writing books again or something. I don't know, whatever. Something happened, but I kind of have OCD as far as that goes. It's like, oh, cool. Oh, shit, I gotta get back to work. Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then reading, I try and do reading all the time too. And sometimes that happens with the books too. It's like, I'll read 4 chapters. It's like, okay, I can set that one down. I know what it's all about. Okay, next, and then I get into something that just engulfs me. It's like, oh, there's 5 books here. Great. Here's the rest of my week.
Understood. Well, you like what you like.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Understood. You know what you like.
No, I don't know. I don't know if I know what I like or not. I just kind of like stuff. So you've got all of these books sitting out there, dystopian and everything else. How's life in 2020 treating you?
Life in 2020, oddly, has been pretty good. I know, right? I know. So I was like one of the essential workers during the pandemic, right?
Okay.
When everybody went into quarantine because of what I do, right? I was at
Right.
a treatment center. So I go there and I do trauma therapy. Obviously, if you're in a treatment center for drug and alcohol addiction and mental health symptoms, you need help and you just can't be thrown off to the wolves, you know? So
Right.
they, definitely needed help. So I was going there like a lot during the pandemic. And so that was good. It was actually fun being on the road at like 5 p.m. and there's nobody else there. And I have a dystopian novel coming out. Felt pretty good. Wasn't that bad. So,
What
and then
better year to write that kind of stuff?
exactly. And then I wrote another book. I wrote a horror thriller this year, which took me a long time, but it came out to 154,000 words.
Oh,
So it was a monster. It took a while, but it was really fun. I had a lot of fun writing that. So that's titled Jiggly Spot and the Zero Intellect. It's a wild one.
okay. When's that coming out?
Probably 2022, actually, because I have a horror thriller coming out 2021 called Gollum. Takes place in late 1940s, early 1950s New York. So I try to do like one horror and one sci-fi a year. That's my plan over the next whatever years.
The title Gollum, that have anything to do with what I think it does, or is that just a title you came up with?
So Gollum, Golem. All right. So Jewish folklore, not Gollum from Lord of the Rings. Definitely.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, was the Jewish folklore.
Okay. Yes, it does.
The mud guy.
Yes, the clay, incarnate the devil into the statue, and then he comes to life and wreaks havoc. Yes.
Yep.
Loosely based on that.
Okay.
That folklore. So yeah, definitely.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Game of Thrones or Thrones or anything like that. That's funny.
Gotcha.
Well, that's Lord of the Rings, isn't it?
Gollum. Yep. Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
My precious. That's Gollum. Gotta love that guy, dude. Gotta love that guy. So it hasn't been that bad. I am waiting for it to end, and hopefully 2021 is even better, So, but as far as 2020, it didn't go too bad.
Well, good for you.
Thank you.
Good for you. The rest of us think it sucks, but that's okay. You can have your own opinion.
I know. I actually feel bad, but what are you gonna do, right? It's like, sorry, I write horror and dystopian novels, so this type of shit's not that bad for me.
Yeah, no.
Feel a little bit at home.
We call this Saturday. What the hell are you talking about?
That's right.
No, and I can't say it was all that bad. It was a big year of change for me, but it didn't. I wasn't quarantined. I didn't have to stay in my house or anything like that. I had I had work to go do and everything else. So
understood. So you got to get out there too.
Yeah, and where I live, there's a town just north of here called Madison, Wisconsin. It's the state capital, and they have this thing called the Beltline, and the Beltline's always just shit. And that's one thing about 2020 since March. You can fly down that thing and not even, bump into a car. I mean, it's just, it's been, that's been kind of good. The interstate's been busy as heck, but yeah, going through Madison's been really nice. So I really can't complain, but I do just for the entertainment value.
Understood.
Excuse me. I'm going to take a drink.
Go for it.
So Indifference is a psychological thriller. Again, how much of your actual day job affects your writing?
Okay. How much does it affect my writing? It does affect.
Maybe I should say influence would be a better word. I'm sorry.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Definitely a good word. All right. So influence. Yeah, it definitely does. It's, I would say it's more of a high influence because of the way the mind thinks. And when you're doing biopsychosocials and learning about human behavior, learning about how the mind works, and then I have some interesting hobbies as well. So more of a spiritual or ancient philosophy type of thing. And then I also love quantum physics. So that's a hobby of mine as well. So I kind of bring all of that into the novels that I'm writing.
Oh, so I would say quantum physics is a hobby of yours. Okay.
Yeah, I enjoy reading about quantum physics. So read The Elegant Universe. Forget the author's name off the top of my head, but that's a good book about quantum physics. Vibrations, energy patterns, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Just feeds the head, It's good, and it makes good fiction too.
Yeah.
All right.
I was talking to a guy who, an author, that was, his name is Bruce, and he was talking about, he has paranormal experiences, so he
Okay.
can feel things and he can see things and, so on and so forth. And he's a professor in a college. And he brought up something that I hadn't thought about as far as quantum physics. So he's got a friend or a colleague or something that he was talking to, and they started talking, within his paranormal realm, and also quantum physics, and how realistically it's the same thing, because whether it's alien abductions or whether it's this or that, it's all just vibrations within the quantum realm.
Correct.
And it was really interesting to listen to him tie that together.
Nice.
As far as what he thought. So he's basically taken the religious aspect and the paranormal aspect and the quantum physics aspect, and they're kind of mushing it together, saying it's all the same. It's just that depends on what your study is, whether or not you actually realize what's going on or not. And as we progress, in studying this type of stuff, that more times than not, you can relate, whether you're a creationist or, very biblically induced, indoctrinated, I guess, versus, maybe you're an atheist and a paranormal, or you're a quantum physicist.
That's right.
This quantum physicist was saying it's all related. It's just a matter of your perspective. And it was really an interesting conversation. I actually loved that part of the conversation. We start talking.
Yeah, that's a good one, because it is all. Hey, Bon Jovi said it the best. It's all the same, only the names change, right? So it's the same damn thing. It's like this group calls it this, and then this group over here calls it that. But it's really just two names for the same exact thing.
Yeah, energy never goes away; it just changes form. So
correct.
then, maybe you can just consider your soul energy, and it just actually dissipates into another form or something like that. And it rings at a different vibration. It's like, okay, cool. I'll buy him. I'll buy that I'm immortal. That's fine.
Right.
I'll be irritating people well into the next century, so that'll be great.
That's right. That's right. Keep bringing it on.
Yeah. So that's very, very interesting. So what else you got going on over there?
What else do I have going on over there? Sorry, my son just walked in.
That's good. You can bring him on if you want.
He left. I don't know. I don't know what happened, man.
How old's your son?
Like this. I have 4. He's one of the 9-year-olds I have. I have twin boys.
Oh, really?
So yeah, and I got a 21-year-old son and an 18-year-old daughter.
No.
Yeah. So I'm a busy guy.
I got you beat, man.
What do you got?
I got a 30-year-old.
30. Okay.
Got a 20-year-old.
30, 20.
I've got a 3-year-old.
Oh, damn.
I've got an 8-month-old.
Wow, you are a busy guy.
Same wife.
Same wife. Damn.
Yeah, I know.
Decided to do it over, right?
Yeah, that's what happens when you get married at 12.
That's right. That's right. So, wow. So 20 and then 3 and 8 months.
Yeah.
Sleeping?
The 30-year-old sleeps great. She moved out a while ago.
Gotcha. Perfect, right?
The 20-year-old, she barely sleeps in this house. So, I mean, she's all over the place. So I think she sleeps fine.
Gotcha.
Everybody else is not.
No one else is sleeping, right?
No, it's amazing on how they play off of each other. So the 8-month-old will wake up the 3-year-old, and then the 3-year-old will cry. Then they'll go back to sleep. Then the 3-year-old will wake up the 8-month-old, and then everybody's crying again. It's just like, this is life.
That's right. Yeah. Sooner or later, it'll be over, though, right? Then no more crying. They'll be fine.
Well, that sounds like a happy ending. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, you'll miss this time. And I just, you're waking up at 2:00 in the morning going, I ain't gonna miss this.
You're not gonna miss that.
I'm not entirely sure that I will. I'll miss the cute little moments in between the the 3-year-old tirades and the I only want mom 8-month-old. But once they get to be 5 or 6 and they're sleeping, kind of through the night. No, I don't think I'll miss this portion of it. But
no, you won't miss it because you'll be sleeping.
Right, exactly. I'll be dreaming of something else. Who knows?
That's right. Exactly. Astral projecting, hanging out.
Yeah, if my wife heard this, she'd be like, "You sleep fine, you asshole. It's me that gets up." But whatever.
Exactly. That's right.
I wake up and watch you leave the room. Yeah.
Every time you leave and come back, I'm
Yeah,
up.
you wake me up,
there you
so I don't
go.
know what you're talking about. I don't get good sleep. Just kidding. These podcasts tend to make somebody mad, so I don't really care anymore. But anyway.
There you go. I like it. Piss them off. Fuck you. Deal with it.
Yeah, you know what? Somebody's gonna get mad, so what the hell?
Exactly.
I think that's my lot in life. So you've got that book coming out next year, and then you already have the 154,000 mega horror novel coming out for 2022. That's pretty cool.
And the Rose Volume 2 will come out in the summer.
Oh,
so I'm working on that now.
Cool.
Yeah, exciting stuff. It's
Cool.
good.
So is most of your influence and inspiration of writing these horror and dystopian, does that come from your profession, or are there other things that you talked about Buck Rogers?
Yeah, no, I've been writing since I was a kid, right? So I wrote my first full-length novel when I was 12 years old. Short stories. I used to write fan fiction. I would go see like movies, so say Ghostbusters or Goonies, and I would come home and write stories about those movies as well. So I've been writing all my life. Huge influences over time. I mean, obviously Star Wars, the way I grew up. Definitely Star Wars. Horror novels, yep, big Stephen King fan, especially his older stuff, The Shining.
Yeah.
Shining, Pet Cemetery, Cujo. I mean, the ace goes on and on. Not so much his stuff now. But then other authors too, Clive Barker. Clive Barker was a huge influence. I love Clive Barker, The Damnation Game. And then actually Cold Heart Canyon is one of my favorite novels by him. Let's see. Of course, Edgar Allan Poe. I grew up in Westchester County, New York, so Headless Horseman, was there. Hence why I wrote Reimagining. So large influences, literary throughout my entire life, and of course, movies too.
Cool. I The Shining. It's funny to me how many people haven't seen that movie or read that book. That I deal with on a daily basis. The only real funny story that I have was Red Rum.
Yeah.
They were there's this group of people that were making fun of it. Red Rum and what the hell does that mean or whatever. And I'm not sure exactly where they saw it, but they didn't know what that was. And so I kind of broke in it. Well, it's murder spelled backwards. It's the mirror image of murder. It's not. No, seriously. Have you read the book? Have you, have you watched the movie? I mean, think about it. And so then they just thought that was the funniest thing in the world. And they'd never even thought about it. And I think one of them went on to actually read the book, but it was just funny that, they missed that type of stuff, but they thought it was really cool at Red Rum. They wanted to know what Red Rum was. And it's like,
yes.
Is it like black rum? It's not white rum. Is it got food coloring in it? I mean, it was seriously that literal. And so you can kind of guess the age range, or the age range there. But it's like, hey kids, come over here and sit on Dad's lap for a minute.
Tell you a story, right?
Yeah.
It's classic. I love the book. I think it's a masterpiece, The Shining. I would claim that as a masterpiece. And of course, I love the movie too. But I think the book was a hell of a lot better as well.
The books, any one of the Stephen King movies is outdone by his books. I mean, I don't know a movie that has been made about his stuff that is nearly as good as the books.
Agreed. 100% agreed. I loved his novel Dreamcatcher, and I was so excited to see when they were coming out with the movie, and they fucked that book up so bad. I was like, what the hell did you do? It's like, oh, that frustrated the shit out of me watching that movie.
Well, this is the part where you don't want to blow it for somebody, but you also want to kind of bitch about it.
Yes.
How can they take that book and fuck it up so bad in a movie? I mean, my guess is they bought the rights and didn't let Stephen King do anything with it. At least in inspect the final product, or something, because whoever wrote the script sucked.
That's right.
I mean, you know,
Yes. I mean, that book is so psychological when he's in his own mind and he's trying to hide files and stuff in his own mind, and the aliens in there is insane, dude. It was so good. It was so good, that book. And then, like,
And
none of that was in the damn movie.
you
Nothing.
don't get that from the movie until much. I mean,
Yep.
if I remember the movie correctly, I just remember being really mad at it. I mean, you don't really get who he is probably until about halfway through the movie, I think.
Probably.
You know, I mean, they kind of, you know, I mean, it kind of starts with them going on a journey to go, you know, back and pick this mentally challenged, the guy with Downs,
yes.
up, and it's just kind of weird the way it kind of flips back and forth. Like I said, I thought the movie was like chunky and weird, and
Yes.
you wouldn't have known that was based on any kind of a book that I'd read.
Agreed.
Is what I thought.
It's horribly done. It's Stephen King. Let's just throw it together and throw it out there. It'll make 1 million people will go see it. Like that was the thought. Yeah. Yes, you're right. Unfortunately, but I mean, that could have been one hell of a movie if they had done it right. Could have been really good. But
you know, I think The Stand was halfway decent, but they did that in a miniseries.
yes,
You know, that wasn't like a movie. It was a TV miniseries, and I didn't find that all that objectionable. You know, I did. God, was that just a few years ago where I read that Randall? God, I'm sorry, I can't. It's Friday. I can't remember. The bad guy, Randall, in The Stand, but he was actually the same entity that was He Who Walks Behind the Rose and Children of the Corn.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I never made that connection until. Yeah, Randall, whatever his name is, Randall Flagg.
There you go.
Is that what it is? Yeah. But I just, you know, there's so many things like that. It's like, oh God, that's the same world. You know.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I love how he puts that together. And then they're doing another one, The Stand. I think CBS is doing it. I think it comes out soon too. Like
really, they calling it COVID? No.
They might. So it's still The Stand, but I think it's another miniseries too. I'm not sure. I could be completely wrong about that, but I did hear something about it.
Yeah, you know, when I look at how they do some of the miniseries stuff, I think they do probably a better job than they do with what they can do with a 2 to 2.5 hour movie.
Agreed. Especially now, today's society. You know, back in the day when The Stand first came out, life was different. It was kind of like It. Remember they did the It miniseries? Yep. Horrible. But you couldn't do a lot back then, right? You know, it was. But
it was.
I know.
It was, because if I remember how I was feeling about that, because it wasn't a continuous, you know, like a 5-night miniseries.
That's right.
It was a week by week by week, if I remember correctly. And by the time I think it was, I just remember by the end, I thought, man, I really wasted a lot of time on this. And then I read the book, and it's like, oh God, why'd I even watch it? You know, and I think I was like 14, maybe. I don't know.
Makes sense. Yeah, it happened a long time ago. But and then Salem's Lot too. I think that was a mini series, right? With Rob Lowe. I could be wrong, but I think so. Or a made-for-TV movie, maybe.
Well, God, was Rob Lowe in that? He might have been the kid.
Could be.
He might have been. Rutger Hauer was in it. He was the vampire.
Wow. I guess I should rewatch that.
Yeah, that one I remember scaring the ever living shit out of me because I was young, and it was a different take on vampires than what I'd seen up to that point.
Gotcha.
And then I really did. And I think both of those came out before I really started reading Stephen King, because Stephen King was reading those novels were big when I was in high school. Everybody had one in their backpack.
Yeah.
You know? And I think the first one that I wrote, first Stephen King novel that I wrote.
We knew it wasn't Stephen writing those things.
Yeah, God, it was me at 12 years old. My grandma gave me Thinner for my birthday.
Okay.
I think that's what it was. I was sick and tired of getting Hardy Boys books. I just wasn't going to read them.
Hardy Boys.
Oh, they were horrible.
It's good to break out of the Hardy Boys. And right into Stephen King. There you go.
Yeah, and then I got Thinner. And that's the one that kind of, oh, cool. These are really neat. And it took me forever to read it. And I read it twice because it was it was something different, you know. And then I kind of, oh, cool. What else is there? You know,
keep going. Right. Yeah. Pet Cemetery, phenomenal. Phenomenal. I love Salem's Lot.
Carrie.
Yep.
Oh God, my memory is going bad. Christine.
Yes,
Christine.
That's right. So many good books, especially in the beginning. He just pumped them out. He's still pumping out books. I mean, really, but you know, back then they were something different because it was like new takes, but his writing style was just awesome. So
I had an idea for a kind of a dark fantasy horror novel that I'm still gonna do, but I'm kind of reworking the idea. But and it was uncanny the way when Dr. Sleep came out, it's like, oh shit, that was kind of my idea. You know, it's too close to it, so I can't do it.
Gotcha.
So I need to change that a little bit. But so when that came out, and I read the blurb. It's like, fuck. Okay, like, I gotta buy this and read it. I read it real quick, and I'm like, shit, it's gonna look like I'm ripping them off. Okay, no, but I can change it. I can make that look. I can make that look way different. You know.
Yes, and do it better. So Stephen King.
We don't. Yeah, I'm gonna outdo Stephen freaking King.
You could do it. I didn't think I was disappointed in Dr. Sleep. Maybe I just psyched myself up too much for it, but I thought he kind of fell flat at the end.
I thought, well, yeah.
And in his defense, though, there wasn't a lot that he could have done because in the novel, the Overlook Hotel burns down.
I was disappointed in that, and then I bought a couple of the Dark Tower series, and I wasn't real impressed with those either.
I've not read those yet. Yeah,
I'm not gonna tell you not to, but just you know, it's not like the things of the past. It's, you know, I mean, granted, it's a little different, but I couldn't get into them.
Gotcha. You know? Well, sometimes it's just not for us, right?
Which is, you know, it's probably good that Dr. Sleep came out because it was probably a really piss poor idea, and I'm glad I'm redoing it. But
there you go. The movie was good too, but I felt the movie also fell flat at the end too. It's like, to me, the movie made up for what the book was lacking, but then the movie fucked up in its own way, and I was disappointed as well.
I haven't seen the movie.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing about the movie is in the movie, because it's a sequel to the Jack Nicholson movie, in the movie, the Overlook is still there. So in the movie, they could go back to the Overlook. Because it's still there. Yeah, okay. Because it's still there. Remember, Jack Nicholson freezes in the maze at the end. So the Overlook is still there. But in the book, the Overlook burns down.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So they went back to it in the movie, huh?
Correct. They go back to the Overlook, which was really cool to see. And in the movie, it's which was kind of weird, right? But like the old characters from the movie, like they're like redone or something. I don't know if it's just actresses that look just like them, or if it's computer, but they look almost just like them, but kind of fake at the same time.
Well,
and like,
who's the God? The African American guy that plays, you know, he's long gone, but he's kind of the carekeeper of the Overlook.
The one who's helping Danny in the Shining, like, and tells him that this is the Shining and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you know, he's
his name. Yes.
Think of the actor, but yeah, he's long gone.
Yes.
You know, so but he was my favorite part of the movie. I thought he was excellent. You know, Jack Nicholson too, but you know, I just like
Jack Nicholson. Jack is Jack, right? Yes, but he definitely did a great part in that. Yeah. So, fact.
Oh man, we're just going all over the place here, man.
There we are.
get the rest of my energy drink going. I finished up my coffee pot, and it's like, yeah, let's do this energy drink now. Why not?
Why not?
I got
Caffeine's a
writing
good
and
thing.
editing to do tonight. Might as well stay up.
That's right. Pull an all-nighter. Get into the mood, right? Get the focus going, prime focus.
Yeah, I'm trying to get 12 out this next year.
Wow. You write a lot, huh? 12 books in one
I
year?
haven't published anything. I published one book January of 2020.
Okay.
And then I had, okay, book 4 is coming out in May, and that never happened. So I wrote book 4, 5, and 6. And then I wrote I've got a novelette series that I'm working on that
Nice.
I want to do like a series type release.
Yes.
Like every 2 weeks, just a
Okay.
novelette.
Nice.
I just thought it'd be cool to try and do something like that. I really don't care if I break
agree.
rules. I just want to try some different things and see if it's cool or not. And I know other people have done that kind of stuff, but I want to try it with my readership and see what they like, what they hate, that type of stuff.
Agreed. I was thinking about doing something like that, but more like same thing, novelette, not every 2 weeks though. That's insane, but you're better than me.
Well, no,
like
I'm gonna write them all ahead of time, have them edited.
Nice.
And then put one out, put 2 on pre-order when one comes out, and then put 3 on pre-order the next week, and so I have a new release every 2 weeks. So everything will be done. I won't be writing that.
Gotcha. Okay. And it would be more like Pulp Fiction type of stuff.
Yeah.
I was thinking like bringing back some old pulp, some like cosmic horror and stuff like that, wacky shit. So we'll see.
I have to admit that part of my reasoning for doing that is I wonder how bad this will fuck up the algorithm, and if Amazon would make a rule so that it wouldn't help your sales just because of me. That'd be really cool.
I like it.
Yeah. Let's see what else we can do to fuck up Amazon.
Agreed, man. Their algorithms drive me fucking nuts.
So you're wide, aren't you? I think I saw that you're wide.
A wide release.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you're in BAM and Barnes and Noble and Kobo and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, through Ingram Spark. So Ingram Spark and KDP.
Yeah.
The classic, right?
Yeah, I actually want to. I think I'm going to take my first 3 books down and go wide with them.
Might as well. Yeah, bigger audience. So you never know.
You never know. Somebody might like them.
That's right.
That hates Amazon.
Fact, because there are people that hate Amazon out there.
There are, those Apple people seem to be very, the iBooks, and they seem to be very into anti-Amazon type reading, I guess.
That they are. Fact.
They're eating their granola and reading your books then.
Has to be granola, right?
I don't know. I just like to make fun of them. I'm an Android guy myself, so. But so anyway, enough of that. What just kind of thinking about it, what's your readership look like? I mean, for this, because you hit a couple of different genres. Do you find that is everybody following you from book to book, or is it kind of you have one group that'll read your dystopian and another one that'll read your horror, or is it they're just all fans of yours and they'll read anything you make?
Pretty much before like Twisted Tales of Deceit, that's where it started getting into the dark realm, right? So horror, dark fantasy, stuff like that. Before that, different readership. Now it's kind of like streamlined, because even the Rose, even though it's sci-fi dystopian, it's horror too. There's horror elements to it as well. I mean, you can't write a book about alien vampires and not have it be a little bit horrific and a little bit gory, I mean, seriously. So that readership is staying the same and pretty much maintaining. And that's where even all the future books that I have fit into those 2 genres.
Okay. I'm just kind of curious because I read a couple articles again on Stephen King where, he's written so many different things.
Yes.
That, he was claiming that, he has a readership for this and he has a readership for that. And sometimes they cross, but most times they don't, because people's tastes are different, and I get that. people that are, completely occult horror and that's what they love.
Yeah.
They're not going out and reading Buffy the Vampire.
No, they're not. They're not at all. So we'll see. I do have plans possibly to do some other like type of books like Indifference or something like that, but that'd be way out in the future.
Yeah. How many books do you write a year?
Write a year? About two. Two books a year. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. All right. Well, is there anything you want to tell your readers as we wrap this thing up?
Oh, I love you. Keep reading. Enjoy books. But right now, by the time this comes out, so I am doing a big like fanfare contest and raffle, over $1,000 in prizes. So if you haven't read the book yet, go to my website, pdavella.com. Check it out. There'll probably be a link there. We're filming this before, and the link will probably say contest or giveaway or something like that. Click on that, join up, and have a great time.
Do you have dates on that contest, or is it just...
Contest is going to run from January 1st until April 30th. So it's 4 months. Oh, really? Yep.
Holy contest. That's a hefty timeline.
It is. Well, people, it's a lot. The contest is like drawing the best alien vampires, stuff like that. And then there's a raffle there, and just listen, I'm not an artist as far as drawing and stuff like that. So I'm like, it's not fair just to do that. What about other people? What can they do? So there's a lot there, a lot of ways to enter for the raffle, and then there's the contest too.
Yeah, so it'll be right in that first month of January. I think that week of the 25th, I think, is when that's coming out.
So perfect. It'll be a month underway.
Yeah, so if you want, when that all comes up, just send me the links and I'll make sure that gets into the show notes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Well, actually, we wanted to go to your website, so that'll be on there.
Yeah,
we want
that's
them
fine.
to go to your website and then enter the raffle. And we don't
exactly. Exactly.
So all you people that haven't read PD Avella's books, you go out there and kind of check them out, buy a few books, and then enter the raffle. That's the way that works.
That's right. Enjoy it. Enjoy those alien vampires.
Absolutely. Cool beans. Well, other than that, is there anything else you want to talk about, or?
I think that's it.
That's it. All right.
Yeah, at the moment.
Cool. Well, with that, I'm going to call the show to a close. This is Jeff Bacon with the DIY Writer. Paul, I want to thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for allowing me to be here, dude. I had a great conversation. It's good.
Yeah, it was actually fun. It was kind of reminiscent.
Right.
Holy crap, Buck Rogers. This is going to be fun. Anyway. But anyway, I want to remind you, please subscribe to my podcast and whatever app you happen to be listening to it on, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. And by the time this comes out, I should be on IGTV, so subscribe to that too. That way I can hit you 3 weeks from Sunday into all sorts of authors you have never heard of. Anyway, it's Jeff Bacon of the DIY Writer Podcast. Once again, telling you have a good day and keep your chin up. Bye-bye.
Please hit the subscribe button. I get a bonus for every subscriber, and I only need 1,506 more to become a full-time paid employee. Help me, please.